we're here, we're queer, we're having a good time. Only moving forward. I got really sad about life. I love the second act. We've hit 50K. Hey, hi, hello, how are you? I'm Pia and welcome to the start of a new weekly writing vlog. I've already started writing today, but I am past the 35K mark, which is very exciting. I've so far written today 1,195 words, and I'm also going on a plane today, so I'm going to Florida for the week, so we will see how writing goes. I also start classes this week. I start classes tomorrow. What will happen? Only time will tell. So I'm not sure how writing's gonna go this week. I just genuinely don't know. Am I an optimist? Yes, at the end of the day I am. So, you know, I still think I can reach my word count goal, which is about 2,500 every day to get to my 70K goal, which the more and more I think about it, the more I think that is like a very low estimate for how long this book is gonna be. We're not at the halfway point yet. I'm on chapter 15. I guess chapter 17 should be my halfway point because I have 32 chapters. Is that math? No, that's not math. Chapter 16. Excusez-moi. But I think I added another chapter now that I think about it. There might be 33. I'm gonna hit the halfway point in this vlog. Knock on wood. That was a book. Knock on wood. I'm not there yet. So I did a little writing for the day. I'm hoping to get some writing done at the airport because it's not an international flight. We have to get there 2 hours in advance. So I will have time to like sit down with my laptopity top, hopefully if I can find an outlet, and write some stuff. I also have some homework to do, which I am either gonna do at the airport or when I get to our place. So we shall see. I'm writing a really fun scene. You know, I mean, I feel like I just started act 2. So I'm just like, we're just going and going. So, but yeah, that's my update for now. And I will check in with you when I have another update for you. Hello, Fred. Long time no chat. So every time I move, I shake the camera because the tripod's on the bed. Anyway, hi. I'm on vacation right now. I'm in Florida. I think I told you that. I have started my summer classes, which are something. They are, excuse you, or something, and I don't know what that is. At the moment, it's not fun for me. So anyway, we're powering through, but it's the weekend now. It is Saturday, and I'm gonna give you an update on the things that I've written, the words I've written since being here. It's not a lot. It is not a lot. We've not been, you know, hitting, what was I hitting? Like 2,800 like words a day. No, that's a distant memory now. Hopefully when I get home, I can like really power through and I can get back to like, I don't know, like doing these classes while being on vacation and also trying to write a book while on vacation and also trying to vacation on vacation is like so many things. And it has been really, really stressful, but it's fine. My book has been my peace. You know, I have not had such a good time writing this book as I've had writing it now because I'm writing it in like these really small chunks. I've been squeezing it in writing where I can because I've been taking 4-hour classes and they're draining. And so some days, you know, let's see, I wrote 800 words here, 200, 500 words there, like just like random amounts of words. I think I've basically only been working on one chapter. Oh, I could do the math, but the math is not gonna math. So yeah, I've just been like, you know, how do you eat an elephant? I've just been doing it one bite at a time. And it's been like kind of nice to have this like lack of pressure because every time I'm able to write, being on vacation and taking classes, every time I'm able to write, I kind of am just like happy with however many words I can get in that day. And I'm not really caring how high that word count may be. I think definitely when I'm home and doing all these things, it's definitely gonna be like one less thing off my plate. Yeah, okay, next Saturday, I'm going to Cape Cod. So let's recap what I've written while being here. So I wrote 800 words, 806 words actually, on the 22nd. And then I wrote nothing on the 23rd. And then on the 24th, I wrote 204 words. And on the 25th, I wrote 528 words. And then yesterday, on the 26th, I wrote 1,472 words. The best for my vacation so far, because I didn't have anything to do yesterday, which was nice. And then today I wrote 980 words. So far I've written a little less than 4,000, 3,990 words over vacation so far. I have 2-ish more days left here. You'll see. I think that's all I'm writing for today, those 980 words, less than 1,000, because I finished my chapter and then I'm gonna probably just kind of, I've been doing a lot of like post-it planning for my chapters because I have my beat sheet, but having like a little bit more detail, my notes, like my beat sheet has the beats. I find like writing down like the tone the like maybe even like bits of dialogue being like he says something like this or whatever, that is like helping me feel more prepared going into a chapter. I'm not that worried about this next chapter actually. It's gonna be interesting, and I'm gonna have like kind of like a mirror effect with it. Like I'm gonna have another chapter like it towards the end of the book. I'm only like halfway through the book. I just finished chapter 16, but I also have already figured out that I'm gonna split chapter 10 into 3 different chapters. Later, I went back to my plan and I was like, this is where this would split, and this would be that middle chapter that I'm thinking about. Anyway, I would only technically be adding like another chapter, but then I would be splitting up the current chapter 10. Anyways, it's not important, but I did that yesterday as well. I did like a lot of planning stuff yesterday after my 1,400 words that I did, because it needs to happen. I also was thinking about this other plotline that I have going on, and it was like, maybe that shouldn't come out of the blue. Maybe I should start hinting at it in earlier chapters, because like I said, my guy perspective has stuff to do, but like I never know what to do with him. It's so fun. I know, I was talking to my mom about it and she was like, give him something to do. Like, does he have anything going on? And I was like, I swear he does. Like, I swear. Anyway, he does have stuff going on. Like, it's fine. I just finished chapter 16 and I figured out there are 33 chapters currently, so I am less than halfway through. So I'm gonna go work on a video and some homework and maybe some planning for the book, but I'm not gonna do any more words today. But that's the update so far for vacation. We're gonna have to talk over how loud my computer is, but it's fine. Hi friends, I'm officially home. I've been home for a day or two, but I kind of have rearranged not only how I'm doing the vlogs. I don't know what's up with my fucking hair. It like really annoys me, but I'm also editing. Am going to change how I'm like doing my writing schedule, because I need to work it like around my school, because I had a rude awakening in one of my classes and I was like, oh yeah, we need to focus. So what I'm doing is I have class, like I have actual like sit on your freaking Zoom class. I have like synchronous class 3 days a week. So those other 4 days of the week I can write. So that's what I figured out. Because I'm thinking what I want to do, I haven't been home all 3 days this week, so I'm gonna have to try again next week. I am going to try to like do most of my schoolwork or all of my schoolwork during the week, and then I have like the weekend, which is like those 4 days, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, to do writing stuff and fun stuff and whatever. That is the goal. So I'm sitting down on Thursday. It is June 1st, so happy Pride Month. Was gonna edit a little bit, but I need to get back to my draft. So I'm on chapter 18. I think I updated you, but I also like don't remember. I am 40,240 words into this draft. Like I said, I'm gonna be working on weekends. I am like at the 40K mark, which means I am like, I'm halfway done with the book and I want to not work on it. No, once you like take a break and then like getting started again is always going to be really hard. I found that with literally everything in my entire life, like with running, with reading, with school. Like if you have a sick day off of school, it's really hard to get up the next day and go to school. So it's just a thing. So I'm giving myself the grace today to get back into the draft and work on this 18th chapter. I'm actually kind of excited about this chapter. It's got some drama going on and a new character, maybe just some threads going through as always. So I'm gonna work on this draft, and then my goal is to also do some homework later today as well, because I think I said I like just got back. So I am not caught up yet. My last chapter I wrote, I don't know if I told you this, but chapter 17 ended up being super short. I wrote it in like one sitting, like an hour. It was like 1,200 words or something. And I definitely will go back and see if that's how I want that chapter to be, because it's so far I think the shortest chapter. But I know the last chapter is gonna be short, but that is neither here nor there. I just kind of wrote it and I was like, oh, this chapter moved a lot faster than I thought it would, but it was really like a simple, like one thing needed to be accomplished in that chapter. So I don't know. I'm thinking about going back. Well, I'm thinking about my second draft. I'm not going back. No, forward. Only moving forward, not move backwards. No. Anyways, so I'm procrastinating going back to the draft. I'm actually gonna edit a thumbnail first, and then I'm gonna go back to my drafting. It's fine. Just don't want to do it. But I do. Like I'm convincing myself. Like I totally do. I totally want to write this draft. I so want to finish it. So, would you believe it? It's the same day. My hair is curled and my makeup's off. So I am updating that I finished writing for the day. I don't have like those goals I had before. Basically, my goal is to finish this book eventually and not much more than that. So, but yeah, I wrote like 2,000 words today. I will tell you my exact stat in a moment. I wrote 2,017 words today, bringing my grand total up to 42,257. So I'm almost done with the chapter I was working on today, chapter 18, I think. Yeah, it was a good chapter. I was not ready to like get back into writing and a routine, and like I still like today and tomorrow I have like appointments and stuff that are gonna mess with what I consider to be a routine for my writing, which always kind of throws me off a little bit, but I am still gonna do it. I'll definitely write tomorrow and the next day and whatever, and I still got like my homework done. I've done like literally everything today. I filmed a video, I posted a TikTok and a reel for the podcast, I did all the like color correction for 2 videos, rendered them, did the thumbnails, wrote 2,000 words, did my week's worth of homework for one of my classes. Like I did it all today. So I basically want to replicate this tomorrow, except I don't have a video to film, which is fantastic. So now I don't know what I'm gonna do, to be honest, because I'm reading a few books, but I don't know what I want to read right now. Look who it is. Hi guys. I don't know the last time I was here. I'm back in Boston, if you couldn't tell, my apartment, and I am updating because I'm gonna write today. It's like the only thing I have set out to do today. I got caught up in school and I said, you know, like maybe I'll have the weekend to do my writing. And I think that is something I want to have going forward. Unfortunately though, in order to do that, I had to do a lot of work this weekend, and then I'll do a lot of work during the week and hopefully have next weekend fully like free to do my writing, because even trying to squeeze in a few hours, a few writing sessions here and there, my head is just not in that place because I'm thinking about all the other stuff I have to do, unfortunately. I'm taking 3 classes right now, which is like not what they recommend. They do not recommend you take this many classes, but like we're here, we're queer, we're having a good time. That being said, I did actually write a little bit, not yesterday, but the day before that. I think I wrote like 300 words, which I know. Shocking. I wanted to change something that happens in chapter 16. There's like a romance in this book. I've probably said this before. There's a romance in this book. And the way I like my romances to progress is very, very specific. And I kind of had them, I just felt like it was too fast. And I had to just rewrite it a little bit. So I was just like, no. Not yet. Yeah, and I actually realized that doing it this way instead of the way that I previously wrote it, it actually follows the same formula that I did. Not to say that it's formulaic, but just like math. It follows the same formula as my last book, STM. It follows the same kind of like, this happens in this act, this happens at the end of this act, then, you know, it's you can't say. I don't know what I'm fucking talking about because you can't see my outline, so I'm like being big. But I am sitting down to work on chapter 19. I'm hoping to have just a good old-fashioned writing day. I have finished all of my work that I have to do. I'm gonna focus on writing today. I'm working on chapter 19, so I'm gonna pull out my post-its as per usual and work out what exactly is happening in this chapter. I'm really just gonna take my time. I think that's key. I think because I don't have all the like school stuff to be thinking about, I'm not going to get as distracted as I was the other day, which is why I could only write like 300 words. But I also am just going to be like either write or do nothing. I think because I only kind of wrote a few hundred words last time I sat down to do this, and before that it had been like a week of not writing. I just need to like push myself to get back into it, and like by no means do I have to have this done. I don't need to have a polished draft anytime soon because I am querying my first book and like I am working on that stuff. But like, so I'm gonna work on chapter 19. I'm hoping to work on chapter 19 and 20 today. We'll just see how things progress. This lighting is not good. Hold on. So I did like one writing sprint basically, and then I had lunch. So in my first writing sprint, I wrote 866 words, which is really good. I'm like happy with how I'm like progressing. Like the hardest part was just getting started, and now that I've started, I'm feeling pretty good about it. I also just watched a couple writing vlogs while I was eating lunch, and they just always make me feel so inspired, and that was definitely really helpful. I'm writing a part. It's not really, I mean, it's like important for later, but it's like, it doesn't seem important at the minute. There's something in the past of these characters that I don't have entirely worked out, and I'm kind of thinking about it because I'm like, what does it mean if I don't have this worked out and I write this draft? I think what it means to me is that it won't be as big of an element, and that's something I can think about in draft 2, is maybe like making it a thing, because I don't have it worked out and I don't know what it's gonna be like, and I don't know how. I'm basically trying to connect my two characters more than they already are kind of connected. They are like connected in a present timeline, but there's like this past timeline that I could make them connected in this like, oh my god, isn't it crazy how like they're connected? Like, I don't want to explain. I did something similar in STM where I kind of made this like happenstance happen at the end. Or no, not even at the end. I kind of made this like thread of like, maybe this isn't the first time these characters have met each other, and I want to do something similar but not the same, just kind of in that vein of like, we're more intertwined than we think. But I don't know to what degree I'm doing that yet, and I don't want to stop and figure it out. So I think I'm gonna do it like in the next draft, but it's something I'm thinking about because I'm like, I'm about to meet a character who I think is going to, at least in this, definitely in this draft, is going to be connected to a different character that we already talked about, and that's important. But I think also another character is like gonna be, they really should be the same character, but there's no way I can combine those two characters. So those are the things we're thinking about. I know my lighting is like very strange and my aperture is trying to compensate, but for now I'm gonna sit on the couch and do some writing here. I have my TV in front of me, so I'm gonna play my music on there, and we're just gonna work through this chapter, maybe take a break after I finish the chapter, whatever. I'm not really gonna do timers and stuff like I normally do, because I think just like hunkering down and focusing is what needs to happen. So yeah. My hair is so freaking puffy. Anyway, hi friends. I finished writing for the day because I finished my chapter. I don't want to write more. I don't want to push myself too much because it's Sunday. Did I say that? It's Sunday. I have class tomorrow. I have stuff going on tomorrow, and I'm actually supposed to talk with my parents today because I always chat with them on Sundays. I am going to stop for the day and I want to go on a walk and I want to go to the library and stuff. So I wrote a total of 2,226 words today. I wrote chapter 19. Happy with it. I don't know what else to say about it. Interested to see how chapter, because we have my male perspective and it is always harder writing from him, and this is a chapter that doesn't have too much going on. So it's gonna be interesting. I think I might work on just kind of plotting that a little bit more. Get rid of this post-it. I tried to throw it at the camera. Didn't work. And just like write out what that is, but I might also not do that. I wrote some Harry Styles today. It was really nice, or it made me think of last year when I was writing to like when Harry's house was new. That was very exciting. I'm actually gonna link both my like writing playlist, which I just use for writing like anything, and then which is like why it's like 50 hours, and then my playlist for this book, because my playlist for this book is so good and you don't understand. So I'm gonna link it in the description. Hello my friends, it's been a few days. So now I'm gonna be writing chapter 20. So my goal for today, I'm gonna have 3 more days of writing for this vlog. Chapter 20, we've got the progression of a few things. This is the second act, so everything is like, things are going. Nothing crazy is happening until we get to like the end of Act 2. I love Act 2, I still do. Act 2 is fun and games, you know, that's why I love it. So we're currently at 44,881 words. That's right! Friends. So I'm getting a later jump on the words today because I had to edit my reading vlog, and realized while I was editing, I didn't wear makeup like in a single clip. Listen, I need to do that because I was just like, I'm not going anywhere. Like no one's gonna see me. Hello. Oh my gosh. Anyway, I think I told you what I'm writing today. I'm gonna do like just one big sprint until lunchtime because I always take a break at 12 to have lunch. But I am going to work on chapter 21 today. And this is a chapter that, like I said, I told you I was excited about it. It's definitely something, is my fan on? It could go one of two ways. It could either be like completely like flowing, or it could just be me like, I don't know what the frick they're talking about. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not like worried about it because I'm really happy with how yesterday went. So I am going to dive back into the draft first, of course, starting with my post-it planning. This is like a staple at this point for this book. So I'm gonna do that, pop on my playlist. Okay, I'm gonna stop stalling. I'm gonna write now. Alright, it is super speedy update time. I am 49,092 words. Crazy, we're gonna hit 50K tomorrow, which is awesome. I'm slowly but surely going through this chapter. I'm not finished with it by any means, but I wrote less than I wrote yesterday, but I have to go to a meeting. So it's life. So 1,991 words, so just shy of 2,000. I was getting a good groove towards the end, definitely. I, you know, am coming up with some things that I wasn't planning on, and generally like getting more into it. But it definitely went, unfortunately, like the latter way that I was not hoping for going into this chapter. But I am having a good time. Like I said, I think I like this combination of characters a lot, and I don't get to do it that much. Like I definitely think like in the second draft I might add more conversations or just more scenes with these two characters, because I was realizing I was going to my back and forth for my draft to my timeline, and I was like, have they not interacted in 2 weeks? Like, why not? I have to go to my meeting now. I don't know what else. That's the update for now. Tomorrow we're gonna hit 50K. We're gonna finish up this chapter and start the next one. I have no idea what the next one is. Oh, I do. I remember what it is. Oh, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. I love the second act. We are nearing the end of the second act, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, I love the second act. I just freaking love it. I have to go. So I'll talk to you eventually. Hello, my friends. We've done it. We've hit 50K. God, remember when I thought like 50K was a book? Now here we are. Yeah, so crazy. Could be a book. It wouldn't make sense if it ended where I just stopped. But anyway, I hit 50K. How are you today? I'm doing great. But yeah, so I wrote some this morning, obviously. I finished up chapter 21. Ended up being long. Long for me because I'm a short chapter person. I don't know, it's like 3,000 something words. So longer, you know, back to, I think for a while there I was doing like 3,000 word chapters. So far I have written today 1,584 words, 50,676 words into the draft. So I'm actually almost at 51K, but I didn't want to update you until I finished the chapter. So I finally finished it. I am happy about it. Like I'm happy I took my time with it really, because it was like, you know, I don't think I got stuck really. I think I just had to like pause for certain things. I was like, how exactly am I gonna say this? Like how is this conversation gonna happen? But I really liked it, and I really liked, this is not really a spoiler about the chapter, but the two characters in this chapter are watching a movie, and they're watching 10 Things I Hate About You, and 10 Things I Hate About You is like one of my favorite movies of all time. And I just am so happy I got to like bring it in, which like obviously it's like my book, so it's not like I couldn't do that before, but I have a chapter actually in my first book that is a reference to 10 Things I Hate About You, but I didn't talk about that movie in that book. I just really liked it, and I had a lot of fun comparing my characters. I was like, who would they be? Like if they are 10 Things I Hate About You, like who would they be? And it was like really fun to like think about. Next up is chapter 22. Oh, I'm getting close to the end of Act 2, which I think is kind of crazy, because then the fun and games end, which is so sad. Yeah, so there's only chapter 22, 23, and 24 left in Act 2, which I also realized I'm writing tomorrow because I have the day off tomorrow. So are we gonna finish Act 2? I'm not gonna set myself that goal because that sounds like kind of a little insane, especially since I know these are big chapters. Like chapter 23, or no, chapter 23 is gonna be a big chapter, but also chapter 24, because I have literal, like, I don't even know what's gonna happen. I mean, I know what's gonna happen, but my notes are just like, they go here. Okay, like, and yeah, that's gonna be fun to write chapter 24, but chapter 22 is gonna be so fun. I'm excited. We're baking a cake. It's time for my lunch break, so I'm gonna take a break now and get back to it today. I was getting a tad distracted while I was writing today, but I did get a lot of words in, so what are you gonna do? You know, at the end of the day, it's just you and your book and no one else matters. Okay, I have a confession to make. I didn't write pretty much any more than what I wrote before lunch. And this is because, let me listen. I was doing a new thing where I was reading things that influenced what I was writing, which was a beautiful concept, beautiful idea. However, I am a reader who reads many different things. Many different things. If you watch the vlogs, the reading vlogs, you know, I read everything. But that is not very conducive to trying to put my head, my mind into a YA contemporary, because not everything is a YA contemporary. Now that is one problem. The actual problem of the matter, the fact of the matter is, I watched this yesterday, and then I finished watching it during my lunch break. I finished watching Shiny Happy People, and I got really fucking sad about life. Last night I got freaked out about just cults, and today I just got sad. So I was like, that was not a good idea, because that did not put me in a good headspace to then write a cute scene about my characters baking a cake. So why did I watch it? I don't know. So I am going to spend the rest of the day trying to get my head back in order so that we can start fresh tomorrow and have a good writing day, because shit's not working. Okay, so I realized the only way to like get lighting in this room to work is to have the overhead lights, but I know that they give me these like weird shadows on my face. I don't know what else to do. Otherwise it's too dark. Hello, my friends. I'm currently making a cup of tea and getting ready for my second writing session of the day. I haven't filmed yet today, even though I've written, because I realized this vlog is getting really long. I'm now 52,036 words into the draft. So I've written 1,282 words today. I'm writing chapter 22. Maybe I'm like halfway through it, maybe. I don't want to say a third. A third doesn't feel like the right percentage, but it doesn't matter. I'm like not quite halfway through maybe, but you never know. So this is a chapter that I was having a hard time writing yesterday. I think I told you, because I was in such like a weird headspace from the things that I was consuming. So last night, to like fix my brain, I started a new book reading. I started a new audiobook because my other audiobook was horror, and I was like, no. So I started a new audiobook for like a YA contemporary that you'll see in my wrap up. Then I also watched a lot of Boy Meets World. So that was my little like acclimation into my genre. I was gonna watch a movie, but I watched a really bad movie the other day, and now I just like don't want to watch a movie. I'm writing chapter 22. I'm like about halfway-ish through it, and I'm just gonna work on that today, pretty much. That's the goal. I'm not gonna try to like set out to do too much. And I also know that I didn't realize how many like weeks this vlog would span. It was like originally supposed to be like 1 week, and then I think it's 3. No, it might be more than that. But I think in the next 2 weeks, I'm just like, am I gonna finish this book in the next vlog? I think I am. Which is awesome, because then I'll be right on schedule finishing this before I go to London. So it is kind of crazy, especially like as I'm really finishing up this second act and building those, you know, those things to get to that climax and that, you know, stuff that's gonna happen. It's really awesome, like planting the seeds, you know? I'm gonna go back to writing now. I'm gonna get my tea that I just made. And then I will go back to writing. Yeah, I don't really have a goal for my word count or for the day other than just finishing the chapter, working hard. My mindset has completely changed from writing this book, and it really has evolved and gotten so much better. So I feel like we had to get to know each other. We had to like drown a little bit in the beginning, and in order to like get our footing. Yeah, I'm like happy about it. So my gosh, I will go get my tea. Promise. Yeah, and I'm also switching up where I'm sitting, because I usually sit at my desk, and I was getting bored of that. to turn off Joni Mitchell. Joni, it's not your time right now. So I listened to some Joni Mitchell, which was so fun. I love her. I finished writing for the day. I finished my chapter. I wrote 2,490 words today. The part I thought was like the main part of this chapter is like the shortest thing, which always fucking happens. So I am working on my focus, which is always like a thing I'm working on. I think I have like a good system down, which is where I work for, first I do an hour like sprint, and then I take a 15-minute break, and then I do 45 minutes, and then I just do 45 minutes from then on. Usually I don't do continuously more than like 2 or 3 sprints because it's just not sustainable. Right now I've been doing 2 in the morning and 2 in the afternoon. The afternoon ones are always harder, but you know, whatever. So I've been just watching writing vlogs on my breaks, and I've been listening to Joni Mitchell, who's a little bit distracting because I love her so much. So I just want to like listen to the music. Yeah, I listened to Clouds and just started Blue, but that's besides the point. I am 2 chapters away from finishing Act 2, starting Act 3. It's fucking crazy. Okay, so I have like 10 chapters left of this book. Okay, I don't want Joni Mitchell to sue me, so let's not do that. That's gonna wrap up this writing vlog. Yeah, I hope you are enjoying the writing videos. I know they are some of like my favorite videos to watch to get inspired and to keep up to date with other people's writing progress. So if you want to let me know what you are writing or working on now and your progress with it, I would love to know. Let's create a little bit of a writer's community here. Yeah, and I think with that being said, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, do all of the things, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.